Bun.
Hey, y'all, hey, happy Saturday. No, happy Sunday. Oh, look, I'm still like in weekend mode. Happy Sunday, everyone. Thanks again for joining us for our Ladies' Night Book Club as we review this book, Choose Well by Anita Stoudemire. And I have my guest panelists with me again today. And I'm going to have everyone go across the board and introduce themselves. But I'll go ahead and start. So, my name is Cinquetta Wilkes, and I'm a content creator here on YouTube. And I help women with working on pursuing their goals, their purpose, and also pursuing a relationship with God. So that's my thing. If you're looking or interested in working with me, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Cinquetta right there. So you can see everything else that I do. So I'll also kick it off to my next co-host, which is Misha. Misha, introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, my name is Misha Allen. I am a YouTube content creator, business owner of Queen of Life Cosmetics, mother, and yes, so I'm kind of in the same lane as Qued. I want to help women grow and realize their self-worth. And yeah, that's me.
Welcome. And Kim.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kim Douglas. I am a business owner as well. I own Lights On Empowerment LLC, and Lights On Empowerment is a coaching and mentoring program for women that's just really working in the corporate scene and they want to transition into creating their own business. And it's also for women who want to stay in the corporate scene and just want to elevate, but they're hiding and they're dimming their light. So I created Lights On as a reminder for women to shine and stop hiding and to glow wherever they go.
Oh,
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Lights on Empowerment.
I love it. So we're gonna have a good conversation today, ladies. So today we were discussing chapters 2 through 4.
Yes.
And I just wanted to get you guys' perspective. If you had to rate these few chapters, from a scale of 1 to 10, about okay, and using that about like how much you learned or how much you like those few chapters, how would you rate it? I guess I'll start and say I will give these few chapters a 8 because I really like chapter 4 about healing is mandatory. I feel like that's where I'm in my journey, and I really feel like that's the catalyst for everything. Starting off fresh, and you see, I got like my little notes on the side. That's where I really started to like dig in. So that's how I knew I liked that chapter.
Yes.
What about you guys?
I
I
would
was really into 4. I was like, where's my highlighter? I need to highlight some stuff in here because she was in my business. We'll get to that. But chapter 3 as well is very important because I think it's very important to know who you are before you're jumping into a relationship, even very important before marriage because you need to choose someone who's aligned with your purpose and where you're going, who understands where you're going, and who's not going to hinder your purpose or your destiny. So it's very important to know who you are so that you're set in that you know who's going to add and who's going to take away from your life.
Love that. Very good point.
Oh, me. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I like the part about, you know, knowing who you are as well and also healing. That was very important. And I think we kind of touched on that last time too. Like, spend some time with yourself before you introduce anybody into the equation because you need to know what you like. Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? And, what are some past things, traumas that you haven't really healed from? Sometimes it takes a situation to bring something up for it to kind of be dug up. You didn't even know that you were dealing with something until something triggers something in you and you're like, oh wow, that's still there. So I think it's important that we try to heal. And I just wanted to make the point that no one's ever going to be 100% at perfection before they find somebody. I think we sometimes we're sold this narrative in society that, oh, you have to be 100, especially in Christendom, that you have to be like perfect before you get married. That's like farthest from the truth because I do feel like you will bring some bit of baggage and so will that individual, and maybe that's something that that person may help you with and vice versa. So but the traumas that are really really deep, it's important. She even talks about therapy and the importance of really talking to somebody. And so I think that that's important. So healing and knowing yourself. And on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give these chapters 7.5. Chapter 4 is a 10 though.
That was good. And I agree, especially to getting to know each other. I mean, I'm so glad that you both touched on that because I feel like that's kind of like the basis or the catalyst to be in a relationship. I don't know why it feels like you think that relationships are supposed to be easy, like you're going to find your match just by osmosis, like but it don't really work like that. Like I heard someone say that if maybe you were destined to be with person B, like it may not be as good as a relationship if you like be with person C, but had you like done all the work and known yourself, you probably would have matched with person B after all. So sometimes I would like really think about that, like So I'm glad you guys touched on knowing yourselves better. So speaking of which, that was going to be my icebreaker question. So in chapter 3, who are you? Anita presented a bunch of questions about how to get to know yourself better. And I wanted to talk about question 13 because I feel like, again, I just like it when like we brag on ourselves. I feel like life is hectic enough. You feel like you could pinpoint all the things that are wrong with you. So I just wanted to hear from both of you guys if you could share what your proudest accomplishment is and why.
I'll go. For me, it would have to be becoming a mother and being a single mother and just putting my daughter first. She brought out a lot of self-worth and value and self-respect that I didn't have before I had her. So I really appreciate that. It's also a long, complicated story, but I didn't know I was pregnant. Found out I was pregnant when I was 6 months. I think I had like 3 or 4 classes left of my undergrad. So I was supposed to be graduating, starting my career, and then I found out I'm pregnant. So it's like I felt at the time was like, why is this happening right now? But I continued, I still went through, got my degree. No matter how hard it was, I still overcame. So I just feel like my daughter made me stronger. She made me an overcomer. So that's my proudest moment, I would say.
Oh, Misha, that's beautiful and amazing. Yeah, like I love that. Oh, what about you, Kim?
Man, I can't top that.
Oh, right. I'm like, dang, what am I about to say?
Proudest accomplishment, I don't even, I would say completing a master's degree, but then I don't want to get caught up on accolades and letters behind my name, because at the end of the day, that's not who I am. That's something I did. But an accomplishment was, or is rather, just being true to who I am and remaining Kim at the core and not changing. I think that's a great accomplishment. You grow, right? So if anything, I'm happy and proud of my growth, but Kim at the core has never changed. I've accomplished many things. I'm a business owner. That's a great accomplishment. I'm the first online business owner in my family. And that's great. But I think, you know, character and all of that other stuff trumps accolades of things that people would praise, such as certificates, and these are all great things, by the way. But I remain true to who I am, and I think I touched on this last week as well. I'm resilient. I've overcome a lot in my life, and so I'm proud about that, to still be here and to reach back and to pay it forward and speak to women and talk to them and uplift them. I think that's what I'm most proud about. I'm proud about not dimming my light. I'm proud that I went forward and I actually had a vision and I saw that thing come to fruition. I saw it materialize. I didn't just let it remain a vision, but I actually pushed forward and went to it. School is great, all of the other things are great, but when you actually pull from something within and you see that thing through and you just, you know who you are at the core and you are doing your own thing, I think that is my accomplishment, and I'm very proud of that. And I know I have other things to be proud of in the future because I will continue to grow. Yes.
I love that. And that is great. You list off a lot of great things to be proud of. And like you said, it all you were able to do those things because of your character. You know what I mean? So I feel like that was a catalyst that pushed you through to keep
Mhm.
on and not quitting on yourself.
Right.
So you said a lot of good things.
Yeah.
And I want to like piggyback off of that too, because I was
Mhm.
having this conversation with a friend and he was just like, yeah, you got degrees and stuff. I'm just like, but I really feel like that's not my biggest, proudest accomplishment.
Mhm.
For me, it was finally, and I'm probably still not there all the way, but finally being able to understand, like, see myself and love myself in the way that God loves me, or
Yeah.
that's where I'm like trying to reach towards. So I
Mhm.
felt like once that happened, everything changed for me. Now I know how to walk differently, talk differently, speak up for myself, because I'm like, I am God's child and he loves me. Okay. He went to
Exactly.
the cross for me. All right. So I must be a big deal. All right. And I'm not going to dim my light.
Exactly. Come
So I feel
on.
like that is like a real big accomplishment for me, because now I can't go after my dreams and my goals because I feel like, all right, God got me. You know what I mean? He wants
Mhm.
me to succeed and prosper. So just being able to do that, I feel like I can accomplish anything,
Yes.
whatever may come my way. No.
No,
So
amen.
yeah, that would be my biggest accomplishment.
Yes. I think when anybody to be able to deviate from the norm,
Mm,
right, which is go to school, get a job, 9 to 5, and to have the audacity to say I'm going to do things different. That alone,
mhm.
because we live in our heads, and so when we finally get past that stage of saying, okay, you know what, why don't I try this thing and actually do it? I think that's when you realize, wow, well, if I can do this, sky's the limit. So to have the audacity to dream and have the audacity to see, to walk that thing out and see it, that's it. So
Right. I agree.
yep.
It's like, some things may be harder for us, because I think sometimes like things are harder when you may be called to like break generational curses in your family. I
Listen,
never
come
think
on.
about starting a business or wanting to like be like self-sufficient, like, oh wait, I can create my own kind of job kind of thing. I can one day employ people. I can be like Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs myself. Like, that's very empowering. I feel like sometimes the
Yes,
enemy be trying to throw things our way to like, so we don't keep on that track to that potential.
exactly.
So I'm glad you said that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, to
Mhm.
be audacious enough to have the confidence to like, no, I'm gonna do something different. I don't care
Mhm.
how everybody else did it before me, but I'm gonna just step out and go for it. So
Yes. Yes.
yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So, I just wanted to also talk about in chapter 3.
Mhm.
Anita had mentioned how she explored different hobbies while she was single, and I thought that
Mhm.
would be like a good idea or something for us to talk about, being as though like hobbies may have changed a little bit. The things that we used to do before coronavirus.
Yes.
It changed the game. So I was just curious to know, like, what do you guys do as like hobbies and fun and activities that you would like to share? Because this is the year going into 2022 that I want people to activate. Like, I want you to go for it. I want you to go for that degree. I want you to go start the business, the course, whatever it may be. So
Mhm.
I just wanted to hear like some things, or if you could share some ideas that, for women that may be in their house, like, okay, I want to be that person. I want to be active. What are some things that they can do? And what are some things that you do that you want to share?
Well, I like my house, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest with
Right.
you. But okay, so I love music. I also play music. So I will get lost in a song, or I will get lost on a piano, or the guitar, or the bit whatever. And that's what I do. But it's so cool now that you have different social media sites and platforms where you can find people with, who are like-minded. So if you there, I don't know if people still do meetup.com. There's meetup.com where you can find people who, I don't know, maybe you want to go ice skating and try that.
Mhm.
There's also, I wanted to do indoor skydiving. I think that's something I'm still going to do because I'm not doing a real one.
Mhm.
Right? She's not
Awesome.
jumping out of a plane. um so I want to try indoor skydiving. I want, there's book clubs, there's people who can I don't know, just get out there, find different groups on Facebook and type in different groups. You'll be surprised to see how many people may have the same interest as you. Um, you just got to put yourself out there.
I like that.
It's hard because it is still Corona esque. We're still in that season, and
Yeah.
so it's not like before. There are concerts that people can go to, and you can meet up and go to different concerts. It's so funny. I was thinking about this today. I back in the day there was a movie called Rocky Four,
Mm-mm.
and I met someone and we were talking. She was mad cool. I met her at a church and she was talking to me about her love for Rocky movies. And I'm like, yo, I love Rocky movies. Out of all the things that we could have been talking about or bond over, it was Rocky movies from like 1980 something. So this and to me Rocky 4 is the best Rocky ever out there, right? All the other Rockies, I'm not saying they suck, but Rocky 4 was the best. So you never know. And she agreed. Just weird stuff like that. Who would think that I would find a female at that who's like into Rocky and who likes that type of movie or whatever? And she's like really a Sylvester Stallone fan. So you never know who you'll meet and what their interests are. You just have to have conversations. So
I love that. You gave a good one because, especially with meetup.com, I actually got on there.
okay.
And yeah, so now I have like something to volunteer for Thanksgiving. And look, I'm gonna be meeting new people, getting out the house a little bit.
That's
So
exactly. Yep.
that was a good suggestion. And okay, I won't tell you when I go skydiving because I kind of want to jump out the plane.
All
So
right. Good.
yeah.
If you like it, I love it. I'll do the regular indoor one.
I want to do
Because
both.
my
I want
feet
to
will
do both.
stay on the ground.
But wait, guys, what if I show you how pretty it looks? Like if you were in Dubai, like it looks so beautiful. I was like watching this girl do it. It was like blue skies, white sand, blue, beautiful water. What if it looked like that? Would
I
you?
believe you. I will take your word
I'm
for it.
good.
Yeah.
Mm,
I'm sure it was a beautiful like Will Smith. I was looking at his documentary. It was like a little series that he did leading up to his book launch. And he went to the highest, I think, building in Dubai or something,
mhm.
just to say that he did it. I'm like, kudos to you, Will, because I ain't doing it. Will is one of those people who's like a daredevil. He'll do anything. But yeah, when
Right.
he was in Dubai, I'm like, good for you, Will. I'll cheer you on.
Yes.
So,
I saw that pool one when he dove into like the deepest pool or something in the world, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's nice, but
Dang, I missed
good
that
for you.
one.
yeah, listen,
Mm-mm.
yeah. But there's different things.
No.
Like just conversate, like you said, Cinquetta. Just I'm happy that you found something that you're able to do this Thanksgiving because it just literally takes searching in a search engine and
Right.
putting yourself out there, and you never know. Sky's the limit,
That's true.
pun intended.
Right. So literally. Well, what about you, Misha? What activities or hobbies are you into?
So after I had my daughter, I went through postpartum, and randomly I got into makeup, and it was like a therapy for me. And I know people think makeup, you just want to look cute, you just want to like be pretty. That's true. But doing my makeup, it was like the action or the process of creating something, it just did something for me. It made me feel so powerful and just so courageous and confident. So that still is not so much. It's because this pandemic and the maskne and all that, I was like, okay, I gotta kind of stay away from makeup for a little bit. But that's a really big hobby of mine, which turned into my business, and now I sell cosmetics. So, and YouTube started as a hobby. It was literally just a hobby. I saw other people sharing their opinions and all these different shows, and I said, well, I want to say how I feel, and I want to say what I thought about that. So I started doing that, and now my YouTube channel is monetized. So like, I'm just glad that my hobbies are bringing income. But yeah, those two Those are the two that set cooking. I like cooking now.
Mhm.
Since the pandemic, I've been all on YouTube doing different recipes and things. And another, I don't know what it is with me in creating things or the process of starting from here and taking it to like starting at A and taking it to B. It just motivates me and it just does something to me. But yeah, those are some of my hobbies.
I love those. Especially, I should have known because when I went to your Instagram page, your makeup did look really nice, and I like didn't put two and two together. But oh my gosh, like yeah, that is your thing. It does like I never knew that's like how it came about. So that's interesting. I'm so glad you shared that because I want to try to do good at makeup, but I feel like it's like a lot, to learn. Like maybe I should just start off with my eyebrows, getting that down pat, and then work the rest of my
Yes.
face or
Just
something.
start out with the basics. It started with, I think I just started with foundation and eyelashes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just slowly started progressing. But yes, I was a work in progress, honey. Because I took some of them old pictures down, but I was looking crazy for a little bit. But once I got it, I got it.
Yeah, it looks great now. Oh my gosh. And then Kim,
Thank you.
you're welcome, girl. I was like, oh my gosh, your makeup looks so nice.
Mhm.
But yeah, and Kim, now you got me wanting to like learn how to do the piano because I'm pretty sure I can find some YouTube videos and YouTube University. Like
Come
everything
on.
I want to know is on there. So I may have to do
Yes.
that.
I love like I've been playing since I was music was introduced to my family before I was born, but at 4 years old my parents bought a piano and I've never looked back since. And
Really? Oh.
yeah, I didn't know I could play. I did not know I would just go on and ping 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 ping. My brothers can play very well, and then
Mhm.
I just realized like I have a gift to hear something and play it. So I play by ear. I don't play by notes. I can't read any notes, but if I hear something, I can play it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I
Oh.
love the bass guitar and I love the guitar, the lead
And,
guitar. Yeah.
and don't you feel, or I feel like I heard that with music, it's also like a stress reliever kind of thing.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. Yes.
I think that's
Absolutely.
pretty
It's
dope.
another language.
Mm.
It's another
Hmm.
language. Yeah.
That's one thing I just never really got into like that. I wanted to play the clarinet or something like in school, but just never did
Girl,
it.
do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yes. Listen, look at Lizzo playing the flute, doing her
there
thing.
we there we go.
Come
Right.
on.
Now, if
Oh.
I see you with a flute twerking, I'm gonna have something to say.
That would be a separate YouTube channel, y'all. Cinquetta flirt, a flute, does a flute and twerk. Yeah.
Flute and twerk. That sounds like a class.
Right, right, a
Flute and
workout.
twerk.
Right. Okay, yeah, so
Oh man.
that'll be my other life. But I'm trying to think, what's my hobbies? Oh, y'all already know I really like to read, but what was
Yes.
a going out hobby before the pandemic? So my thing is like dancing. So I like
Mhm.
Zumba. I was like in an adult
Oh,
dance
okay.
class. Like I would do that stuff. Like I'm like active kind of thing. So I do like going out. So in the meantime, I just kind of find YouTube videos like dancing workouts or something like that.
Mhm.
But those be my favorite activities. I gotta move my body kind of thing. What else do I do? Read. And I love this stuff. I love getting everybody together, content creating. I like, even though I be editing just a little bit, I actually like it.
Mhm.
And it came out of the pandemic. I felt like,
Same.
really? Oh, wow. You started,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Kind of like you said, I felt like I'll be talking to my friends about the shows, and I felt
Uh-huh.
like they really wasn't caring. But I was like, that's okay.
Right.
I'll
They
send it
don't
to
know
you
what you're
too.
talking
Right,
about. They don't get it.
right.
But mm-hmm.
Gosh. So your channel started out of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep. That's what happened to me. I said, why not? Like the way the world was changing, I was like, dang, I better do it because who knows what tomorrow may bring, kind of thing. I don't know. My
Yeah.
mind starts getting like really deep and stuff. So,
No, but you're right. You're absolutely right. The world is changing. Everybody's talking about crypto. Everybody's talking about changing how currency is changing and different things. And you're right, a lot of things were birthed out of the pandemic. And
Mhm.
it goes back to the book where it gave you a chance, or it's still giving people a chance to discover who they are, what they like,
Yes.
what they don't like. Do you like being
Mhm.
alone? A lot of people are alone now. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
not by choice. They don't really have the ability to go to work and clock in and be around coworkers. So you're forced to be home. And even if you haven't lost your job, but you're still at a job and you are working flexi time where you're um some days at home, some days at work, or you're just home altogether, you know, you are essentially by yourself.
Mhm.
So it gives you a chance to see like, yo, what do I like? What do I not like? you know? So,
Literally. Yeah, that's what happened to me.
mhm.
And I'm so glad you said that because I realized like I'm a real introvert. Like I- even though the pandemic was bad, I realized like I can kind of be by myself and be perfectly fine. Now I don't have to go to y'all parties or anything like that. I can use the news as an excuse. Oh, did you not see the cases are going up? No, and I wasn't gonna go anyway. But look, I'm trying to like be healthy for you guys. So now I can use that as an excuse. Like it's just it couldn't have happened to a more better person because
Right.
I'll be trying to be in this house. Like I really don't. Let's do it virtually.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'll like your pictures on Facebook, but because I
Mhm.
really didn't want to go anyway. No, I'm just playing. I'm a,
Right?
I'm a step out when I need to, but
Right, right.
this is
I
giving
feel
me.
like the pandemic made me worse, like worse of
Mm.
an introvert. Now I'm like, if I go somewhere, like I went to the store today and I walked out, it's like too many people, too much noise. I can't do it. I'm leaving.
Does
Mhm.
noise bother you? Oh my gosh. Okay, then I really need to get out more because the sound of things knocking, or like a cabinet
Yes.
knocking too hard, or like the rustling of plastic bags
Oh,
too long. I mean,
yes.
2 seconds is fine, but too long of a period of time, I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
what is that?
That's me. And I
Like,
have a toddler. She's
oh, okay.
stomping, she's throwing things.
She's
She's I'm
getting
like,
into
girl,
stuff.
girl, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. You're about to drive me crazy.
Oh
Like
my gosh,
any
Misha, where are you from?
California.
Like your family's from California? Because I heard an accent.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, my mom's, I get that sometimes. I don't know what accent it is, but my mom's side's from Alabama, my dad's side's from Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
So you
I
got
don't know where it comes from.
okay. Southern. I probably heard a little bit of the Louisiana in there,
Mm.
because
Okay.
sometimes some areas of Louisiana kind of has a hint of Caribbean. It's weird. It's so weird.
Uh-huh.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Sorry. Sidebar. Sorry.
All right.
You're
No,
okay.
this is good. Oh, California. I did not wear this on purpose. Look at that. It all
Boo.
blended in. It all works.
Yes.
So we learned a lot about alone time, and this is like a perfect segue to my next discussion question. So in the book, Anita had wrote, I always say that when I am alone, I am with the best person I know. And I really, really like that.
Yes.
So I was going to ask you guys, we kind of already started talking about this, so it's perfect. So, but do you guys have like designated alone time? And if so, how do you spend your alone time? And if not, how would you want to spend your alone time? So it's like a double kind of question, but
Um, I don't have designated alone time. I probably should. That would
Mhm.
probably eliminate some stress because I'm just like, I just reach my limit. I'm like, okay, gotta go. I'm out. So I probably do need a designated alone time. I'm an only child. So I'm
Oh,
used to being by myself. I'm used to like it just being me. So I'm absolutely fine with it. I'll go to the movies by myself. I'll go out to eat by myself. No care problem in the world. Just be sitting there laughing and having a good old time by myself. But so yeah, I self-care is like a good way that I spend my alone time as well. But it's really just quiet. Like I really need quietness because going through work and having a toddler who's very loud. I just need those moments of just absolute silence. So that's Yep, that's my alone time.
Mm, that's good. And the self care part, I like that you mentioned that. Hmm.
Hmm. For me, I don't have designated alone time. It just sort of happens, and I love it. I just like we're like, see, Misha. I feel like we're twins in some way, like because and we're both wearing green. Like, come on. But I would do the same thing. Take myself to the movies. Take myself to eat. Walk around, have a good time. It is the best feeling ever. I took myself on a cruise. I'm not
Ooh.
playing games. I'm not waiting for anyone to do anything for me that I can do for myself.
Mhm.
Like it's the most empowering thing ever, and it's fun, and you meet new people. Just the other day, I went on a cruise in 2018. I went to the Bahamas. It was the bomb. It was just like, and I met some cool people, and one of them reached out to me a couple days ago. She was like, "Hey, girl, what's up?" You know, so you know,
Mhm.
you just have to put yourself out there. You
Mhm.
don't have to be tied to someone to do what it is that you love and to go out and enjoy. You want to see a movie, go see it.
Mhm.
Yeah, just that's just. And there was a second part to the question that you asked.
If you don't spend, if you don't have designated alone time, how would you like to spend it? But I think you kind of
No,
answered it.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, like.
just relaxing.
Mm.
But I do think that I've been spoiled a bit. The pandemic has spoiled me, and I do need to get out more. I'm just being honest. I'm just like I gotta go. I gotta get out. Because working from home, you will literally not go anywhere. Like
Mhm.
if you're not intentional about saying, okay, I'm going to get up and go, you won't. So
Now, is it just me? But you don't even have to buy no foods either. You can Instacart your stuff. You can DoorDash it if you don't feel like cooking. Like you really, yeah, working from you really
Listen,
don't have to.
listen,
Hold on.
listen, Amazon Prime was
yo,
my bestie.
friend.
I was like, wait, I can get groceries in 2 hours? Okay. Wait a minute. I need to do my hair. Girl, I was buying hair off Amazon. I
Mhm.
was
Yeah,
buying everything off Amazon.
I get my
I was like, I
groceries.
need to do my
Listen,
hair. I need to do this. So, yes, it was bad.
there's
And I was
Amazon
like,
Fresh, and then sorry,
uh-huh.
there's I think there's Amazon Fresh, and then there's also Whole Foods.
Yeah, Whole Foods. Whole Foods was my best friend. It was bad. And then Target, I did the drive up. I just had to drive there and sit
Mhm.
in a parking spot and wait for them to bring the stuff to the car. It's like, this is bad. This is because I'm getting used to this and I'm liking
Yes.
Oh man. Okay,
Just
so
because
it's
they
not
say
just me.
robots are supposed to take over. And I'm like, I think I'm adding to this. I think it's going to happen faster.
yeah. I've seen a little commercial where like they could drop your medicine in your backyard. Well, that's what they're like on a little helicopter thing. They'll just boop your prescription is
Really?
there. I seen a commercial like that. Yeah.
Oh
Hmm.
wow.
Yep. They starting to get like more. Like you said, robots are taking over. I'm starting to see stuff like that. Actually,
Oh
seems
wow.
like it's going to be in the works. But yeah, you really
But in a
can.
weird way, like you, so what I think ahead, and I feel like, what is this all in preparation? What is it really for? What are they preparing us for? You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
if you get in not medican medicine drop offs from a helicopter, what kind of
Yeah.
military back in the day type of
Are
what
they
is
trying? Yeah, it could go deep. You're right. Yeah.
so we gonna leave it there because I'm like, what else is going on behind the scenes?
Right. Yeah.
Right. That is so true. That
Listen,
is so true.
listen.
Because I know
I'm
y'all
just
Mhm.
seen
saying.
the Domino's commercial where like the car, a little like robot car thing would drive your pizza to your house, kind of. I know y'all seen
I
that.
saw that on the news. And I
Hmm.
was like, what if somebody steal it and then steal your food out? Like what? Like,
They
Hmm.
probably have
I
safety.
don't know.
They probably have a system where it's locked, and I think while the if that's what they're really doing, it's being monitored. They have that car monitored and it's being watched.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
there's
Yeah.
cameras all over that car. I don't think people will be able to have access to it unless like five men all at once
Oh
decide to come and
gosh.
lift it up and run away. and jack the car and the pizza at the same time. But I think, yeah, they
Right.
probably, for them to put it out there like that, trust me, they've thought of all those things. They got something, some kind of security mechanism is in place for
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
But see, to keep going with what you're going, like today is pizza. But what else could they be?
Come on.
Right?
Right.
So,
Mm,
uh, but
mm,
you guys touched on a lot of things. I just want to say I don't have designated alone time either. It does kind of
mm.
happen when it happens. But you guys got like are just flowing today because my next question was going to be and you guys kind of answered it, but my next question was um given the chance, would you rather dine alone or go to the movies alone? But I feel like you guys both said you guys would do both. So,
Both.
yeah, right. So I thought that was going to be like a hard one. I was like, oh, let me see what they're going to say. But you guys
Mm-mm.
both said that you will do both alone. So, all right, Misha, I know you're an only child, so you can do stuff by yourself. Kim, what order are you in? Like with your siblings, are you the oldest, or like, do you think that has something to do with why you can like be by yourself, or you're just like that person anyway?
I'm like that person anyway, and I'm the last of nine. I'm the
Oh,
baby.
the baby. Okay.
The baby of nine. And so, because I think what happens with me there, what happened with me is everyone is a significant amount of years older than me. So I am by myself anyway. So
Hmm.
I'm not a 70s baby. I'm an 80s baby. So all the 70s, all of y'all had y'all era, and I'm kind of like in my own little era. And so we don't have anything in common. There isn't anything for us to talk about really. So I've just kind of been my own independent, alone type of person, and I love it because I I want to know that I can do things on my own, and I didn't want to just be constantly depending on my other siblings just because of my placement in in birth.
Hmm.
I wanted to know I could do it on my end, and that's what I do. I do my own thing. I've been doing my own taxes since I was 20 something years old. I've been just doing my own thing, you know. Um,
That
I feel
is
like I feel like there was another question that you asked and I didn't answer it.
um no, you answered it, but
What was the question again?
oh, would you rather dine alone or go to the movies alone? And I feel
Mhm.
like y'all both basically said like before that question came up, y'all both basically said y'all
Oh
do it
yes,
all alone.
girl.
I
Yeah.
just oh, I just asked like, do you think that you got that independence to do things alone because of like I was like, okay, maybe you're an only child or maybe you're the oldest because I'm the
Oh
oldest.
yeah.
So that's how come I
Yeah.
feel like I could do a lot of things by myself too. Because like you, then my sisters, we're 5 years apart. So we never went to the same school at the same time. When I
Exactly.
was five, they were like newborn, so I couldn't like hang out. And then still, like I'm still getting older. So as they're getting
Hmm.
older, but I still can't talk to them like that because they're still
You're ahead.
babies.
Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
had to learn how to do a lot of things by myself as well. And I
Exactly.
really feel like what really pushed me, kind of like hearing you guys talk, was like what you said, Kim, like you're not waiting on nobody. I remember wanting to go to Zumba class with my roommates and they told me they would go, but when the date came, they changed their mind. And I'm like, dang, I still want to go. So it was like at that moment I realized like, all right, I just got to start doing things by myself. If it comes down to it, like, all right, I want to go with people, but if I can't, then I feel like I still should like live my life. Like,
That's
oh,
right.
okay, so that'll be my next question.
That's such a good point.
Oh, go ahead.
That's because yes, I'm an only child, but I was the only child who was like at my fifth birthday party and no one would show up.
Mhm.
And so I just got used to being by myself in a sense. Or if I wanted to go somewhere, I had to wait 2 hours because this person's running late, this person canceled, this person needs to stop and do this real quick. And I'm impatient too. So I think that probably added to it as well. But that's a great point. Like when you try to do things as a group and then you realize, you know what, it's so much easier if I just take me, myself, and I
Mhm.
and get it out the way. So I love that point you just made.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, Misha. When I was in Atlanta, I went to see a Tyler Perry. He was at the Fox Theater, and I felt like, dang, instead of just asking people, "Do y'all want to come?" I
Mhm.
went and got my ticket by myself, and I went to that Tyler Perry play. So,
Yes.
but
Yes.
That would, I know it ain't like that when we were all talking, it made me think of this. So what's some other things that you guys do but by yourself? Like Kim, you mentioned going on a cruise. You went on a cruise by yourself?
Girl, yes, I
That
did.
was dope. See, okay, what else? What else do you guys do by yourself that like most people would be like, I couldn't do it by myself, or most people do in a group? Because I need more suggestions. Okay.
Okay, listen, I went to, so I live in New York and we are the home of Broadway, nothing
Hmm.
but plays. And I went to see several Broadway plays alone. I went to see Wicked. I went to see Brandy when she starred in Chicago and she played Roxy. I went to see, there's another play I can't remember right now. But yeah, I take myself to Broadway plays. Why not? That's something that people would typically do as a group. Oh, let's all get together, buy our tickets together,
Hmm.
and we go together as a group. Nope, I'm not doing that. I feel, and it's so empowering. And I sat next to somebody, didn't know them. We had a great conversation the whole time during intermission, everything. It's just so cool
Hmm.
to just. If you ever come to New York, hit me up. Let me know. Let's go to see a Broadway play. Both of
Ooh.
y'all. you
That
know,
can be arranged.
Listen, because that's something else that I did. I did the cruise, did that, did the movies, went out to eat, had myself a glass of wine by myself. One night I wanted some gelato. I was at Lincoln Center, got me some gelato by myself, walked around there. Um, I go shopping alone. Okay, so back in the day, I would shop with a lot of females, a lot of women, younger women. We were much younger, and to buy clothes and all that stuff. I stopped that as I got older because somebody out the bunch is probably not going to find what they want. This person is upset. Oh, they could get mad because you found it. You had the last size. They didn't have their size. It's just a bunch of confusion.
Hmm.
Somebody in the group is catty and petty, and I just can't. Not all the time. I'm not saying that women cannot go out and have a good time, but it's been my experience that there's always somebody that gets upset, or you want to look around and somebody's ready to go. I want to go. I'm tired of being here. I'm hungry. I want to eat. I want to. So it's like to avoid all of that. I will go shop alone. One of the best feelings ever is to go to the mall, shop for 5 hours, or even if you window shopping, walk around, see what you want, and then when you go to that food court and you get you some food for your hard day of walking
Uh-huh.
in the mall
Cherry on top.
with the cherry on top. And then we got a Cinnabon. If there's a Cinnabon if you ain't got no Cinnabon or no Auntie Anne's in your mall, it ain't a real mall. You got to have a Cinnabon.
Hmm.
And you got to have an Auntie Anne's cookies, something. I think that's the name of the Auntie Anne's or something like that. Anne's cookies.
Pretzels, yeah.
If
Hmm.
you don't got a good cookie spot, all right, may not have to be Auntie Anne's, but if you got a good cookie spot in your mall, reevaluate that mall. But the best feeling ever is to just walk around alone, go to the mall, get you something to eat, relax, maybe grab you an iced coffee in the summer, and just because sometimes the group adds to the confusion,
Hmm.
you know, you know, I,
That's true.
yeah. So,
I'm glad you said that.
I
I feel what
definitely
you're
agree with Kim because I
yes.
went to this birthday dinner and I'm thinking I'm having a good time, everything's good. And then somebody pulls me to the side. Did you see them two? They almost got into it. They almost got into a fight. I'm like, when did this happen? Like I was just sitting here good. Like I didn't see nothing. So it's like it's odd that it feels like the bigger the group, the more likely some mess is going to
I
happen.
can't.
So I definitely agree with that. It's just like cut it all off because yeah, I don't. It's just weird. I, like even simple things because I have my daughter. My
Mhm.
parents, they spoil her. They always want to like come on any trips or anything like that. And sometimes I'll be like, me and her done been here by ourselves multiple times. Why you come and now there's confusion with the tickets and the
Mm.
food? And I'm like, what? And it's just only two people, two extra people. And I'm like, how
What,
did
like,
this? I'm like, what? I don't get it. So
yeah,
it's funny how it's like a completely different experience when you just add two, three, maybe four more people, and you're like, huh? Like, what? I actually like this spot. And now you then turn it into something else.
that
So
I hate.
yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yes, yeah.
I would say. I like doing, so I live like in a country part of California,
Mm-hmm.
and um, so basically, if I want to have fun, I gotta go to LA or I gotta go to Santa Barbara. I have to like travel to like, and sometimes I feel like the best quality stuff as far as clothes or things, makeup is not here. So like that's what I like to do by myself. And most people that live here, they like to make it like a thing. Like they'll take their family or their friends or whoever and like travel with me. I'll go by myself. I'll drive by myself an hour or two to go to like a bigger, more a makeup store that has more variety,
Mm-hmm.
more options. I'll go and drive 2 hours there. I'll drive 3 hours to go to this crab leg spot. I could go down the street, but I just like going to that spot over there. But I'll do like little stuff like that by myself, and people are like, you drove. That's another thing. I don't know what it is about people out here. They don't like to drive. I don't care about driving. They're just like, you drove an hour there? That's far. You drove 30 minutes? That's far. I'm like, how else
Mhm.
you gonna get there? So,
Right.
so that's what I like to do by myself.
That's good that you don't mind driving.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of do. Like if I could Uber everywhere, I would. Like if it didn't cost so much, because I really don't like driving like that. So, but I will drive to for fun, because like you, where I'm at, like the closest, like major, not the closest, because we're kind of close where I am. I'm close to Philadelphia, but like I like to go to DC, the DMV area, and that's like 2 hours away, and it's just like, yeah, I'll go down there, like for you know what I mean, because that's where
Mm-hmm.
everything's kind of popping at a little. So.
So, by the where you at?
I'm in Delaware. Do you know it's the first state? Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you're not too far from me then. Because when you said Philly, I'm like, well, I'm
Mhm.
not far from Philly. So yeah, that means Delaware is not too far from New York then.
Right now, have you ever
Yeah.
been to Delaware? Have you heard of it?
Yeah, driving through because my dad used to take road trips down to Florida because we have
Oh,
a house down there in Orlando. We had a house down there in Orlando, and we used to drive down there all the time. So we used to drive through Delaware and all that.
see, drive through. That's
Hmm.
exactly what people do
Yeah.
because they're it's on their way to like somewhere else. They never like kind of
Hmm.
stay here. But shout out to Delaware. It's tax free shopping here. So if you want Black Friday, it's probably too late for y'all to come for Black Friday. But you know,
Yeah.
get some Black Friday deals.
Okay.
Yep, yep, yep.
Right.
Oh, and then my last thing for the thing that I would do by myself that I feel like, if anybody's listening, I went to the opera by myself. Because it was gonna be hard for me to
Ooh.
find some people to go with me to that. And I need to hear no mouth. So I
Right.
went by myself. I didn't need to hear that energy. So like
Mhm.
I'm not even gonna ask. I'm gonna go.
How
But
would
I
you?
had a
That's cool. How was your experience? Did you like it?
it was very good, but I learned that I was underdressed. Like even though I went
Oh,
on
they
like
get dressed up.
they do. I was like work casual. It was like,
Hmm.
oh, but it's okay.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna sit here. So I learned that if I'm gonna go to, but I went like during the day. Like I was surprised, but they still was kind of dressed.
Yeah, they
So
dress.
mhm, I learned my lesson. So wrapping it up, like we already talked about, chapter 4, healing is mandatory. I was thinking about, all right, for us introvert people that maybe don't want to go out, don't want to because with healing, a lot of people think that, all right, I need to talk to a therapist, but I feel like that's one way to heal, but there's also other ways to heal. So I just wanted to hear if you guys had any resources, any books, suggestions, mantras, quotes, or anything like that that you want to share that you live by that kind of helped you or has helped you on your healing journey that you would like to share.
Sure, I would say really get quiet and know what your triggers are. I think once you realize what your triggers are, then you will have, if you're going to see a therapist, you'll have some context behind why you're going to see them, why you're there. So if you realize that you get angry quickly because someone mentioned something and it reminds you of something of your past, you're like, okay, that's a trigger, right? So get quiet, sit with yourself, pay attention to things that may bother you, and pay attention to things that you like, that make you happy. Why are you bothered? Why are you happy? So that when you go to speak to someone, you have some sort of framework that they can work with. Because if you just go there and they're like, hey, so how can I help you? And you're like, I don't know, I just need to be here. They're going to be like, well, okay, tell me a little more. So when you go there with some type of framework of knowing that you sat in quiet by yourself and you kind of dug deep and said, okay, these are my triggers. That might come from abandonment issues. That might come from rejection. That might come from whatever. Um, then you can carry something with you, kind of like your own personal notes, and then you can then hand that over to the person who's going to help you because they have to know how to help you and what they're helping you with. So the first piece is just getting quiet and sitting with yourself. And of course, I'm a big person of prayer, pray. So yes,
Beautiful. And look,
yes, ma'am.
that was free 99. See, that's what I want people to realize. Healing does not have to cost you an arm and a leg or anything like that. So, yeah. So I'm
No,
glad you shared that.
and there has to be a want
Hmm.
to heal.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes people, because of the amount of trauma that they've gone through, they're in denial, and they come from families where things are sort of swept under the rug. Oh, we don't talk about that. We'll just keep on trucking and being strong and moving. But meanwhile, you're dying inside. So I think one has to really acknowledge that, okay, yeah, I do need to heal. Because if you think, oh, I'm fine, then you're never gonna heal. So yeah, there has to be an acknowledgement, there has to be a want and a desire to heal, and then you take it from there.
That's good. I agree with that.
Yes.
I definitely agree with Kim. That's such a good point about taking that time to like just self-reflect with yourself and really knowing your triggers and different things. For me, I went through a lot after I had my daughter, but I knew my issue was self-worth and value. I literally sat there and I ran through every relationship I've been in. And I didn't look at it like he did this, he lied, he cheated, and I didn't do that. I just looked and said, okay, where was I at fault? Where could I have done better? So that was like the biggest thing for me was taking accountability. First of
Mm-hmm.
all, realizing what took place in that relationship, what I allowed, and then taking accountability and really starting there and saying, okay, that's where I need to heal because I allowed this person to lie to me, cheat, do all these things. I need to figure out why I allowed that behavior. So that was a big one for me. Fasting, that's free. So I broke a lot of
Yes.
things off of my life with fasting and just because after I self-reflected, I saw where I needed healing. So I was able to fast intentionally
Yeah.
and really focus on those areas and get healed from those areas. YouTube, there's Janice Hilton. Who else is there? She's all that's coming to my head, but I know there's more. There's you, Cinquetta, but there's women like that on YouTube that preach about self-worth. Not preach. Well, I guess you call it preach. I didn't mean to say preach, but I guess you can call it that, where they talk about how to choose well and self-respect and not settling and different things like that. That definitely helped. I have a virtual life coach. We have phone appointments multiple times a week. So that helped as well. So that's all I can think of. I know there's more, but that's all I can think of right at this moment. But yeah, it doesn't always require you having to get up and go into a therapist's office. I think it really starts with accountability because that's where you can start to heal. Because if you are just going around blaming everyone else, like nothing's ever really going to change. It's like you want to stay in that mindset. Like Kim just said, you have to want to be healed. And
Yeah.
if you're going around blaming everyone, you don't really want to be healed. You want to continue the way you're going. You just don't want nobody to hold you accountable. So yeah, that was a big thing. accountability was really, really big early in my journey, but it really helped me to get to where I am now.
Awesome.
Amazing. Misha, I'm gonna need you to write a book. I know it's a book in there. I do. Because literally that's how I wrote my book. My first book is taking all the lessons I learned, and like you said, like, okay, what should I had done had I known better? Now I'm able to look at myself objectively. So that's when, like, when I heard you say that, I said, should write a book. But I agree with everything everybody said. Accountability, and if I would just like add one little thing, it would be I feel like journaling helps, like writing out your thoughts and what's going on with you, because sometimes I'm okay. You could journal for two reasons. Like sometimes I feel like I'd be ready to clap back a lot, so it's just like let me just write it out, get it out of me, so I don't say it to the person or anything like that. And also, I remember like in college looking back at some of the things that I journaled about, and I was sitting up there crying my eyes out about a guy. And then I'm trying to figure out who I was talking about. And I didn't even talk to that many people. So I'm just like,
Wow.
who was this? I was like tripping over. But it just kind of showed me like my growth. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, like what was you going through? Like, So, like at the moment you're gonna feel like, so it's just best to get it out. But then
Yes.
later on you'll look and be like, I cannot believe that was me. So, you get to see like, all right, I am growing, I am healing, I am changing. So that's why I feel like writing is very therapeutic as well. So
Yes.
thank you guys. You guys gave me amazing points. And I know our listeners out there got some things to do as far as like things that they can do alone, how to heal in the pandemic, in the panini, and how to go forward. So I'm so excited. And I thank you guys so much for joining me again for our discussion of this book, Choose Well. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on the replay, don't forget to comment, like, and share the video. And we will be back again for the next few chapters. And I will talk to you guys again soon. All right. Bye.